Hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, sometimes I forget my intro, and then I give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Aron, Lairon, and Aggron. Alright, so we've seen Juggernaut in the past for numerous different Pokemon, usually like big, strong, unmovable things, which fits Aggron, so I understand completely if you want to go ahead and give it to this one. Ironhide, there's Transformers. I've also had the suggestion in the comments of Rhinox for Transformers as well. So both of those work. I kind of like Rhinox a little bit better because it plays off the, horn thingy it's got going on, so I understand where that's coming from. Ironhide's probably a bit more common. I'm not sure, but both of those are acceptable. Optimus for another Transformer. Magneto we've seen in the past. I think it was for Magneton. I think it's going to fit Magneton better than anyone else. Maybe if a Pokemon's got Magnet Pull, you could also be like, oh, well, there's my logic in that. But, I don't know if I'd say it fits Aggron. Only fair to acknowledge Iron Maiden. We've seen it in the past. You could throw it on quite a few Steel types. I personally use it for my Steelix, but I can't say that it won't fit here. It's totally acceptable. I'm all for it. Alright, so I like where this one's coming from, because I like the idea of this as a nickname, but there's kind of a mega problem in the fact that goat, whichever way you choose to pronounce it, is a quadruped, so I think something like that might be better for, Tauros or Bouffalont, but I do like the idea of naming it after that. I think that's pretty cool. Stands out. Yeah. This is going to sound dumb, but I've actually never thought of the idea of death metal as a nickname before. And that sounds dumb to me because I'm like, I have a Magnezone named Heavy Metal. Why the hell didn't I think of Death Metal? But yeah, Death Metal is, there's an idea, and I guess it's also worth acknowledging since we're on the subject. Heavy Metal, despite being the one I use for Magnezone, I feel also is very, very applicable to Aggron. I just saw someone post in the thing that, Aggron weighs 750 pounds, so it's pretty heavy and it's pretty metal. And Metalhead being another further thing on the joke. And Metallica is another one that I feel like, I think of default nicknames, the first things I would pick for Aggron. Heavy Metal and Metallica are two of the first things. I'm not going to reveal the one I use until the end unless I stumble across it, but yeah, that to me should be a very obvious first choice. I've seen Stark a few times, and I thought about acknowledging it, but I was like, well, Stark also has its own, meaning and idea, it's a word, so I like the idea of, oh, we're naming it after Iron Man, Tony Stark, that's cool, I get that, but at the same time, I'm also like, maybe if his name wasn't a literal word. I'll acknowledge this one just for the sake of it and move on. According to Bulbapedia, it has zero influence or connection between the two, but I feel like there was something Did You Know Gaming talked about that was influenced by this, so I don't know. Alright, going over this, we've already talked about Metallica, Rector's dumb, Titanic I actually saw on Pokemon.net, but their suggestion was because Aggron can learn Surf. I'm not, I don't know, it's weird, but I don't really have much to go on it. Titanic in size, sure, I guess. Silverbot I don't care about. Ironhide we've already talked about Transformers multiple times. And then Scrap Metal I have on my list of generic Steel-type nicknames. It's not bad. You could throw it onto anyone. I've seen it somewhere before, I'm sure. So I'm okay with that one. Alright, we'll go over a couple of these real quick. So Iron Knight, I don't really care for it, but instantly upon seeing it I thought of Iron Giant. I was like, yeah, I could probably see someone going for that. And then Iron Man, Stark, we've already talked about this a few times. Ironclad, that was on the amino thing. And I thought about talking about it, but I was like, forget it. I did Google just to see if it had any extra meanings, and it's just it's a film and it's a warship. And that was basically it, so it's just a safe assumption. It's just surface level nickname, and that's it. But, yeah, that's it. So we've reached the bottom. I think we found a decent selection. The most popular stuff was mostly Transformers, so if you had Transformers suggestion, it was It was there. I meant to acknowledge this at the beginning, but I forgot. The spreadsheet's empty, which confuses the hell out of me. Because in my opinion, Aggron should be like one of the easiest to come up with, and in my opinion, it's also one of the coolest Pokemon. Like top 10 of cool Gen 3 Pokemon. Like it's got an awesome design. Bringing up the comments real quick. So we talked about Rhinox in addition with like Ironhide, Optimus Prime, and other several Transformers references. The other one, which this one's kind of based off of, is Pulgasari, which is like a Korean film based off the legend of what, of what Aggron is actually based off of. So I'm half and half on it. I'm kind of looking at it more like a Godzilla thing and choosing not to be like, it's dumb. And I'm like, it's okay. The actual name of the monster is like Bulgasari, so it's not that different. It's not that far off, but I'm just choosing to think of it as a Godzilla thing and leave it at that. But outside of that, there's plenty of Transformer stuff. Iron Maiden, I really liked. Metallica, I feel like is going to be in my opinion, like I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, this guy would fit Metallica, but because I already have a better nickname for him, I'm not going to use Metallica on him. Heavy metal, of course, because he's heavy and metal, and death metal was also good. Scrap metal is also good. All three of those are generic. You could put on anyone you want. But the one I personally use was actually something my friend came up with when I let him borrow my brother's copy of XD. He had an Aggron, and he named it Reptilia, after the song by The Strokes, which was on Rock Band, which was one of my favorite songs to play on Rock Band. So I like that. His team, he also had a Umbreon that was named Blackened after the Metallica song. So, like, I'm kind of a music junkie. I like references to music bands, and I think if you can pull off songs, like, that's even better. So to me, like, seeing him with Reptilia, I'm like, no, that's perfect. Nothing else is going to beat it. Like, you could use Reptilia for other reptile-based Pokemon, but at the time, like, there was only 3-4 generations, so the selection was about half of what it is now. But if you wanted to put that on something else that you feel like would be better reptile-based, by all means, go for it. But I like it. I think it fits. Like, it's got a reptile dinosaur kind of design, be it all in metal, so I'm fine with it. I think it's great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, that's going to be the name I use on Aggron until I die, which will probably be next year or something. I don't know. But provide any suggestions or ideas or whatever you've used for Aggron in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good, and yeah.